North is back in the brewery to kick off the World at Large 2024, and it was a jam-packed show with the debuts of Mike DiVecchio and Yoshiki Inamura, a North Tag Team Championship gauntlet, and Ace Matthews Ultraviolent Championship on the line against Emerson Jane. We've got a lot to catch up on, so let's get into this. I'm Fraser Porter, and this is the North Rewind. At Thunderstruck, we caught just a glimpse of this very first match, with Kemper as part of Team Miles and Kegstacker on Team Faust. These two already went head to head as the big guys in that match, so we weren't surprised that this match was spilling over to the brewery. Keg started out with taunting Kemper, then narrowly avoided Kemper's initial offense before spitting beer in the big man's face. With the crowd firmly behind Keg, Kemper took his chance and hit Keg with a huge lariat, a big man power slam, and followed that up by sending Keg into the steel ring post. Keg valiantly fought back though, countering Kemper and sending him over for a big back body drop, two huge corner splashes, and a side slam. Ultimately, Kemper was able to get the upper hand as Keg set up for his flying headbutt. A massive chokeslam took him over the top rope, slamming onto the entrance ramp before heading back to the ring for the 3 count. After the match, Miles joined Kemper as the two continued to beat down Keg, but this was short-lived, with Henry Faust coming to the ring to save his friend. It certainly is not the end of this war between Faust and Miles Kamen. Keep tuned in North Socials for more. Hardman Dan was cocky as ever heading into this match, although he's currently yet to actually get a win at North. It shouldn't be overlooked though that Natalie Sykes has a new aura about her, and one that shouldn't be taken lightly. Charging into the lockup, Sykes was thrown back into her corner by Hardman Dan, and this only angered Sykes, who fired back with a shotgun dropkick before throwing Hardman Dan into the ring post. Focusing on the arm more, Sykes took Dan down to the mat for an armbar, which he escaped with a hair pull. While Dan got some offense in, catching Sykes, proceeding to hold her up high before single arm slamming her to the mat with force and following this up with a headbutt and taunts towards Sykes. It was noticeable Hardman Dan kept looking out to the crowd, almost distracted. It didn't take long for Sykes to clinch in an impressive over-the-top rope armbar, following up with a cutter and a final bridge Fujiwara armbar for the tap-out victory. With a big win under her belt, Natalie joined me backstage, so let's take a look. Joining me right now is Natalie Sykes. Now, you told the North faithful that you were rewriting the narrative, that you poured your heart out to them, and you brought it in the ring tonight. How does it feel to get a reception like that?
Fraser, we are so back. Selfie?
Yeah. Gene Money looked to continue the momentum he started to build at Thunderstruck after he defeated his former partners, the Lycos Gym. But standing across the ring from that damn dirty dog was none other than Yoshiki Inamura, who looked to impress in his North Wrestling debut. Basking in the support from the North faithful, Money and Inamura battered each other around every corner of the ring with a mix of power moves, big strikes, and even a suicide dive to the outside. After the two traded control of the match, Inamura found himself seated in the corner of the ring. And well, we all know what comes next. Gene Money springs to the top rope like a whippet and launches himself coast to coast straight into the crotch of Inamura. An Ainsley lariat followed and Gene Money secured the 3. After the match, Gene Money made his future intentions very clear.
Cameraman in the back, zoom in on these doggy blue eyes! Leon Slater! The dog's hungry, and when you're not too busy being famous Mr. Telly Wrestler, the damn dirty dog is coming for your North Championship.
Unfortunately, as he won the North Ultraviolent Championship at Thunderstruck, it means that Ace Matthews was in action. But his first defense wasn't exactly going to be easy, as Emerson Jane stepped up to show him just how hardcore things can get in North. After some chants aimed at Ace that I actually can't get away with saying on YouTube, what followed was one of the more brutal matches of recent memory. And it didn't take long for things to become violent, with chairs, thumbtacks and kendo sticks littering the ring and being used both by champion and challenger. A huge superplex off the top rope and onto some steel chairs rocked Ace Matthews, which Emerson Jane followed up by slamming him back down onto the thumbtacks, but Landy Gentry were there to stop the 3 count. After the distraction, Ace managed to surprise Jane with a shock pin to gain the 3 and retain his championship. As much as it pains me to say, Ace Matthews is still Ultraviolent champion. But what pains me even more though, is the fact that Ace looked like he enjoyed being that violent. Having been crowned the new North Tag Team Champions at Thunderstruck, the Landed Gentry were thrown into their first title defence in a 3-tag gauntlet match. Only one team had been announced so far, and that was the team Landed Gentry initially knocked out of the tag tournament in the opening round, the returning Act 2. Act 2 really took it to the tag team champions, with Jack Knudsen launching a dive over the top rope to start and following it up with a top rope splash in the ring. Unfortunately, it was not enough to keep Xeonox down, and although putting up a valiant effort, Act 2 were defeated when Zeo hit a huge Saito suplex on Benjamin Harland, while Benji held Jack back from being able to break up the pin. Second to team up, we first see one half of Code Black, Joe Wade. But who would his partner be? Well, it's only the returning Jet Marshall. Both members of Landed Gentry were shocked, knowing they were in for some punishment. It was clear throughout the match that Joe and Jet came with a plan, utilising their speed early on to get the upper hand on the already worn out Gentry. It was ultimately the hot-headedness of Jet that cost his team the win. The Gentry had spent most of the match cheating and bending the rules, and Jet clearly had had enough of this, and decided to break the rules himself by ferociously kicking Zeo in the manhood right in front of referee Rich Swift, causing the DQ. Post-match, though, although frustrated, Joe Wade got in on the action for the team to double stomp on the Gentry's, well, you know. It was time for the final team, another complete surprise to the champs and a true throwback for the OG North fans. It was Big Lou Nixon and Hot Office Tour of Japan with Big Japan Pro Wrestling. It was the Jack, Stacked, Daddy, Shreddy, formerly known as England's Hardest Men. EHM started strong, working cohesively to further wear down an already exhausted Gentry. It looked like they may be ready to take the win, and while Shreddy was giving off some stiff chops to the Gentry on the outside, hardcore Hellraiser himself, Ace Matthews, caught the attention of Lou Nixon. Eventually, Lou made his intentions known and chased Ace out of the brewery, leaving Shreddy to fend for himself. The 2-on-1 proved too much for Shreddy when Xeonox was able to hit him over the head with a Crockett mallet, and Benji getting the pin over the big man. I caught up with Shreddy after his return to find out what his plans are following his huge return in North. Let's take a look.
Shreddy is being used to cheating over the past 3 months. Cheap meals in Japan, steak, chicken, rice, the lot. Shreddy's been on that bulk and he is the big man from Big Japan. But tonight, what was even bigger was that big pop that Shreddy got. And I could have stayed in Japan for as long as I wanted. I could have stayed there indefinitely. But Shreddy, man of the people, Shreddy came back. Shreddy did the right thing because North needed Shreddy. Now Lou's got his own business and I don't want to interfere in that. But Shreddy has got some business of his own. Money! Money, 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 money!
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm alright, thank you, Mr. Shreddy. How
It's
are
been
you?
a long time.
Hasn't it just?
I hear that you are looking to want a little bit of a bulk of your own. I hear that you're looking to add 15 pounds of gold around that waist. Is that right? Are you wanting to add that North title
Yeah, alright.
around your waist?
Yes, we all heard my promo. Yes,
Yeah,
100%, that's exactly what I'm doing. I am going after Leon Slater, and I'm assuming you have an issue with that.
Not that I've got an issue, but fresh off Japan, Shreddy wants a little bit of business. Shreddy wants to insert himself into that picture. So how about next show, the big man from Big Japan goes up against that walking, talking, cash money machine. What do you think of that, eh?
I have cliched unfinished business with you, so 100%.
Yeah.
I'd happily give you the first title defense, but if you want to lose sooner than that, then I got no issue showing you that Gene Money in North is best in show. Woof.
After a run-in backstage with Henry Faust and Keckstacker, Miles Cayman's next challenge was facing off with the debuting Mike D. Vecchio. Miles was initially taken aback by Mike D's immediate strength as they locked horns in the early goings, something which allowed Mike to really dominate the start of this first-time matchup. Eventually, Cayman was able to squirm his way back into control, but he made a big mistake by slapping the big man, causing him to retreat in the corner. But he was just playing possum and he kept on the attack. Mike D was back in control after some springboard maneuvers and took to the top rope and launched into the air with a shooting star press. But Miles Cayman caught him out of nowhere with a cutter. But it only got the 2 count. After a while, Kemper appeared ringside to distract the referee, which allowed Kamen to hit a low blow and a golden driver to beat Mike D. Debbie Keitel has been making a name for herself here in North Wrestling, but Rio looked to put a stop to that in the brewery. Not willing to wait for the bell to ring, Keitel charged at Rio in the corner, but got her foot caught on the top rope. This let Rio immediately take control of the match early on, and despite a brief resurgence from Keitel, she continued her offense. Keitel eventually managed to get back into the match after a little spat with the referee, but Rio was able to scout Keitel's dropkick to the floor. Throwing her back inside, Rio blasted Keitel with the forearm strikes before she looked to hit the package pile driver but was unsuccessful. Props to Debbie Keitel, who continued to kick out of Rio's offense and managed to avoid further package pile driver attempts. An air raid crash on the apron causes both Keitel and Rio to crash to the outside of the ring. Managing to get back in at the ring before the 10 count after some back and forth, Rio finally manages to hit Keitel with a package pile driver and get the win. Since the start of the tag team tournament last year, Will Cruz, Rampage Brown, Liam Slater and Rory Coyle have been at each other's throats, so it came as no surprise that Cruz and Rampage didn't even wait for the Postmodern Sick Boys to get in the ring before laying their beatdown. This match had to have a winner, and it was clear these teams were willing to do anything, including Liam Slater jumping off the hard cam scaffolding, Will Cruz overhead pressing Liam Slater to the floor while standing on the bar, and Rampage throwing Rory headfirst into the bar, and Cruz even hits a massive coast to coast on Slater. Postmodern Sick Boys struggling to get on the same page, Liam refused to use Rory's tape shot, and Rory sacrificed himself in a bid to spare Liam, but it was to no avail as Cruz hit Slater with a chair shot, and Rampage and Cruz finalised the match with a huge Doomsday device. With what seems to be an implosion of the Postmodern Sick Boys throughout this match, and Liam Slater leaving Rory in the ring looking utterly defeated, it does make us question if we'll ever see Rory Coyle back at North. And that was the world at large. You can watch the full show now via North's Patreon, YouTube Premium, and as part of your Taylor Plus subscription. Or check your local listings for the Extreme Sports channel here in the UK. Next up is Slamfest Tour, where we'll see the return of North champion Leon Slater. And yes, this one is family friendly. Make sure to follow North Wrestling on social media with the links down below in the description. Remember to hit subscribe and hit that bell so you don't miss a single video here on YouTube. I'm Fraser Porter, and this was the North Wrestling Rewind.